You're listening to 101.5 FM and we're here with Dr. Easton on the line. Good morning, Dr. Easton, and welcome to the Morning Mag.
Good morning, Michelle. Good morning.
So this week being Men's Health Week, pretty special week for you gentlemen.
It's always a special week for men.
It seems to be anyway. Well, I'm just wondering, so for our listeners, what would some of the health issues for men of today, what are they? What are they facing?
Oh, look, it's a wide spectrum, Michelle, and I'm happy to run through some of the things that I see in general practice as big issues with men. Probably one of the big things with men of all ages is that they probably don't go to the doctor at the drop of a hat, whereas a woman will probably, if she thinks there's something wrong, she'll seek medical help fairly early, in opinion. Men, they put it off. She'll be right, mate, we'll look at it tomorrow.
And that's not always a good thing, is it?
Absolutely not. And look, I think myself included, we're all guilty of it. It's just a male thing. But look, I think going back to the issues of men, the issues we face as males, and I think one of them is that we don't talk about illness, we don't gossip amongst each other the same way as women do. But if you're looking at some of the problems that men face, we must accept that the cancers are a big risk. About 25% of the population are going to die of cancer, 25% of heart disease, 25% of other vascular disease, and 25% of something else. So
they're quite startling figures, aren't they?
They are. And they're a wake-up call that you've got to be on guard all the time. And the older we get, the more chance we've got of something going wrong. It's just, you've got to accept that. And the things that men have got to be on the lookout for is probably preventative medicine to start with. And one of those is actually going to someone in the health trade if you think you have a problem. Number two, you start looking at your general lifestyle and you look at stopping smoking, you look at not overindulging in alcohol, and you get a reasonable degree of exercise. And that doesn't mean you've got to go and buy a jogging machine or go to the gym. You've got to just be active, walk every day, use steps.
So I hope all of our folks were listening out there. Number one, getting to the doctor. Number two, lifestyle changes. And the third one again, Dr. Easton?
Is getting some exercise.
So good healthy diet, some good exercise, and making sure we get to the doctor if we need to.
I think you touched on something that is probably overlooked enormously, and that's diet. We Australians eat far too much food. We love eating. And I encourage people to eat off a small plate, just as a simple thing to do. Because the bigger the plate, the more we eat.
That's actually true, isn't it?
Oh, very true.
You fill the plate.
We all do. As a schoolboy growing up, if the plate was twice the size, we'd have eaten twice as much. We're all guilty of it.
Yeah, see. Okay, so you've got some other things that you do within the community to help the men, am I right?
I am, yes. I've got other things that we're involved with, and I suppose you're going to look towards the men's shed.
I definitely am for today.
It's a great operation, this men's shed. I think there's somewhere between 600 and 700 of these in Australia now, and they're growing at like crazy. They're just going round and round. Everybody suddenly got onto the men's shed thing, and we've got the one going at Wamuran, which there's a couple of chaps out here who have been enormous motivators of getting this whole thing going, and they really deserve a lot of credit. But the idea of a men's shed is a place where men, particularly the retired male, because they're usually the ones that are a bit lonely and a bit lost for something to do.
And considering they've been so active for so many years,
yes,
and working hard, and then all of a sudden everything stops.
And all of a sudden, what do I do? There's only so many games of golf you can play. There's only so many things you can do around the house.
True.
And they get so lonely, they don't know what to do. They probably start arguing with their wife. They annoy their wife because they're in the house getting in the way with what's been her domain for a long time. And that's how the men's shed movement really started. And it's a great movement. It really is. Now, if I can just fill you in on this one at Wamuran, the reason we've got this whole thing going is to provide a place for these people, regardless of what interests they have. It's just a meeting place, number one. They can network. If you feel a bit isolated, you come along to the shed and you meet other guys. The the problem is at this stage we haven't actually got our own official shed. We're borrowing a shed of Keith Craig, a local plumber, and he's been a marvellous help to us because he's basically made his shed available for the use.
Oh, that's very nice.
Oh, lovely. It's been a great story, really. And these chaps go down there on Tuesdays and they all have a cup of coffee, have a yarn, and they learn how to do things like repairing old bicycles, repairing lawnmowers, repairing motorcycles, wood turning.
So do they do anything with this stuff once they've made it or they've fixed it?
At this stage, no, we're not, because we're in our infancy. But some of the other men's sheds, they'll take on a project where somebody might want a series of chairs fixed, and they might want a series of something they own fixed, and they can see that the men would provide that service for them free of charge. And we're not trying to compete with local tradesmen.
No. This is completely different. This is the idea of the man shed is for gentlemen that have retired or are elderly. It's a meeting place. Is that correct?
It's a meeting place.
And which you have activities and tools available for them to do such projects and take on something together as a team.
Exactly. Well, in days gone by, we had things like the Country Women's Association. We had the local church groups. Women were able to go and meet, and a woman is very keen to have a gossip with someone else and relax and
that's
talk
part
over.
of what makes us feel better.
It is. It's social networking.
Yep.
Men are very much animals who go back to their cave and sit there in lonely splendour.
Which isn't good for your health, that's for sure.
Terrible. We've seen people out here just locally already who are a little bit depressed, a bit lonely, a bit lost, no self-esteem. And all of a sudden, they're meeting all these people they've never met before.
Learning new skills, putting their skills into practice.
And it's interesting that it's another place for some of these chaps to say, well, you know, I've got a few funny symptoms, and someone says, well, hang on, that's how they diagnosed my prostate cancer, and all of a sudden they're talking about their health to each other. And that's a great thing. It motivates them then to go off and get something done about it.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Well, the details for the Man Shed, you can call Barry on 0437 643 814, and we will have that on our website and on our Facebook page. So thank you very much, Dr. Easton, for your time this morning. It's been greatly appreciated.
That's all right. It's been a pleasure to talk to you today. So if you've got anyone you want to send along to our men's shed, you just send them out there, Michelle. We'll fix them.
Fantastic. We look forward to it. It'll definitely be on our agenda.
Okay, Michelle.
Thank you. Have a great day.
And same to you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.